Looking at the Markets with David Modell.
Hello and welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. I am so glad that you're watching this video. I'm going to tell you some important things for your investing and your trading. This could seriously affect your portfolio. If you're on the right side of the trade, it could be a huge opportunity. If you're on the wrong side of the trade, it could really hurt you. So I hope you pay attention to this whole video, please. In my opinion, all hell will break loose in January. Now they say volatility brings opportunity, so I want to tell you today how to get ready. January will be a nightmare if you're not in the right assets. The November jobs report provided important clues that you won't hear about in the mainstream media, but I'll tell you about them. The November employment report was a hot mess. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And the upcoming reports will be a lot messier, believe me. Now in November, the number of long-term unemployed people, that's people who are jobless for 27 weeks or more, increased by 385,000 to nearly 4 million. That's pretty discouraging, to say the least. The number of persons not in the labor force who currently want a job, that number increased by 448,000 to a total of over 7 million. And amazingly, the Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't even count those individuals as being unemployed. Would you believe it? So that's how they skew the numbers, but we know the reality of it now. And the labor force participation rate, which is crucial, declined to 61.5% in November. That's not good. Altogether, there are more than 9 million fewer jobs today than there were just a year ago. That's how much things have changed and how bad it's gotten for so many people. Most importantly, the November jobs report had a cutoff date of November 14, largely missing the labor market consequences of the huge spike in global illnesses and deaths. All right, so that huge surge, that wave that happened of illnesses and people passing away, unfortunately, it's tragic, but that wasn't even, the effects of that weren't even included in the most recent November jobs report because they cut it off right before that happened, or most of it happened. Now those consequences are coming in the next employment reports, starting with the report for December. So mark your calendar. The next Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs report will be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on January 8, 2021. Now I'm not saying that you should sit and do nothing until that day. You want to be prepared for it ahead of time. You want to know what's coming. And the impact of this could easily happen before January. But you know, the bombshell is going to drop on that day, that's for sure. Now, the government will respond to this in two ways. I can assure you of this. They're going to do two things. First, they're going to keep bond yields low so that businesses will have low borrowing costs. But here's the really big one. They're going to print and spend stimulus money. I've talked about this before. It's just going to ramp up because that's what the government knows how to do best, isn't it? Print money up, which devalues the dollar, and spend it. People are clamoring for that. People are struggling. We just showed you the numbers, the unemployment figures, and that wasn't even the worst of it because the next reports are certainly going to be worse. So I want you to prepare for the US dollar to head much lower. This is a chart, a long-term chart of the US dollar index, and you could see it's in a definite downtrend. The dollar is collapsing and crumbling, and it's just going to get worse as the government does that one thing they know how to do, which is print up and spend more US dollars. You can count on that one happening. So get ready for the next big leg up in gold and in gold miners. The smaller companies have the biggest upside potential, in my opinion, and their stocks are oftentimes the most affordable ones. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Blue Lagoon Resources. If you want to get involved with it, if you want to consider it, on the Canadian CSE exchange, the ticker symbol is BLLG. And if you're in the United States or some other geographies, You can check out on the OTC markets. It is ticker symbol BLAGF. It's right there on your screen. And I'll put it in the description below this video as well in case you want to refer to that one. And both stocks, the OTC and the CSE versions, are trading right now under $1 as I record this. Very affordable, and in my opinion, they're trading well below their true value. And to me, great mining stocks are all about leadership. So I'll refer you again to Blue Lagoon Resources. And I've had a chance to speak with the CEO and director, Mr. Rana Vig. He's had over 30 years of business experience. He launched 5 business ventures in private industry. He served as the president of Musgrove Metals. He was the chairman and CEO of Continental Precious Minerals. So, Mr. Vig has found great success in the past, and he knows resources. He knows minerals. He knows business, and right now he's working hard to make Blue Lagoon Resources the great company that it really already is. But he's really bringing some excellent leadership to the company. And Blue Lagoon's crown jewel asset is known as Dome Mountain. This is an asset with vast potential. 15 known high-grade gold veins. They've only explored one of them. All right, so there are 14 remaining ones. The company has plans to commence the largest drilling program ever conducted on the property in January of 2021, coming soon. So get ready for it. I told you big changes are coming in January, and the company recently nearly doubled its already large land position of 11,000 hectares to nearly 19,000 hectares. And what I want to do is I want to play right now for you. It's really brief, a clip of Mr. Rana Vig, the CEO. He's going to tell you about the value proposition a lot better than I ever could of Dome Mountain, and why it's definitely a highly investable and value-added asset. So check this out.
Well, yeah, that's one of the aspects of it, is that, already we have a mine plan that shows us that we can get 85,000 ounces over the next, dozen years. But that just scratches, the surface. What I like about this project are, a number of things, right? It's proximity. It's only about a 50-minute drive from a town of Smithers, British Columbia, which is a mining town, about 20,000 people. You can drive right to the mine site, all year round. That's a huge deal in the mining business, because often what happens is companies have to spend just loads and loads of money on flying in, because many of these properties are often remote. So you got to fly in with helicopters, you got to put up expensive camps. We don't have any of that. We can have our workers drive to the mine site every day, 45, 50 minutes, come home, have dinner with their family, and kiss their kids good night, and get back to work the next day. So it's just an incredible opportunity from that perspective. And then of course it's already permitted. It takes years and years to get these things permitted, and millions of dollars. Well, we've already got that. That's already done here. And then, there's beyond just the mine itself, the property is vast, right? It's almost 12,000 hectares, and 90% of it, believe it or not, has never been explored. And people in the industry look at that often and say, wow, that's amazing that you have 15 already known very high grade veins surrounding this mine, but none beyond that small little area. 90% of that property has never been explored, and the reason really is because this was a private company. It was a private company, and had over 1,200 shareholders, which is also something that's kind of unheard of. And this their philosophy basically was to get this thing into production and just pay dividends, which is very, very typical and common of a private company, and it made sense. But unfortunately, through a series of unfortunate circumstances for them, they just weren't able to get there. And in the meantime, as I said earlier, they kind of ran out of time, and age caught up to them, and now they're 83 years old and not in the best of health. So there's a lot of very, very positive and solid things going on with this project, that millions and millions of dollars that have been spent on it, and along we come here at the tail end to execute on getting it into production and exploring the rest of the property and capture the upside for our shareholders.
So there you have it, Mr. Ronavig, CEO of Blue Lagoon Resources, and a really compelling value proposition for the company and for the stakeholders and stockholders. So this is a past producing mine, Dome Mountain, and again, 90% of the property never significantly explored. This is a company with a healthy cash balance of $6 million Canadian in the bank, no debt. And altogether, 15 known high-grade gold veins, 20 kilometers of geological strike, plus 75,000 tons per year permitted gold mine in British Columbia, Canada, a mineral-rich, full-access, year-round, mining-friendly jurisdiction in British Columbia. The market cap of around 52 million Canadian is well below the value of the properties that this company controls, and I see significant upside both for gold and for this stock, for Blue Lagoon Resources. So I want you to check it out and be aware of what's coming in the economy and markets. It's going to be big, and I'm expecting huge things. Just make sure you're on the right side of the trade. If you want to learn more, go ahead and check out the description below this video, and consider the stock if you're interested. All right, and I'm going to provide more updates on what's going on in the resources markets and opportunities for you. So thank you so much for watching and listening. I will talk to you again soon.